resolution read, and Mr. O'Neill is prepared to read that.
Whereas it has been proposed to the Board of Commissioners of Mecosta County to restructure Mecosta County Medical Center, whereby the ownership of corporation would change to Spectrum Health, causing corporation to become a wholly owned subsidiary of Spectrum Health, all in accordance with the terms approved by the Board of Directors of the corporation.
What is the next step in this process?
It's a good question, John, because normally you would think this would be the end of the process and now the merger would be complete, but there is one step remaining. We have to wait for CMS, the Centers for Medicaid Medicare Services in Washington, D.C., to complete their review of all of our physician contracts. And then at that point in time, we can move forward with the formal integration and merger with Spectrum.
If not, we'll have comments and questions from the board.
I guess I have several. One of which is I was a little, I guess maybe it's my misunderstanding, but I initially was under the impression this meeting was to discuss the whole issue and not be at the point of taking action, but it's moved, and so that horse has left the barn. My number one objection to this at this point is no other options have been investigated, and there's two other major players available. There is Trinity Healthcare, and there is now, in this area, McLaren. We're making a major decision, and we only listen to one offer. I also believe we should be looking at some form of maintaining some input on who's on the board of directors of the hospital. It's a community hospital. I don't think it's unreasonable for the Board of Commissioners to at least have the ability to appoint one member of that board, for lack of a better term, for a somewhat independent voice as opposed to being appointed by Spectrum or approved by Spectrum. I just don't believe that this is in the best interest of the community.
All right. And now the board seemed to have a pretty solid vote across the board, except for the one holdout with Commissioner Kevin Courtney. Is this kind of what you anticipated to happen this evening?
Yeah, we've stayed pretty close to the commissioners through this entire process, and the entire process now is about 5 or 6 years. And two of the commissioners, Eric O'Neill and Art Edelman, sat on what we called our transition team, which is a combination of board members and county commissioners to discuss the integration agreement with Spectrum. So hopefully we did stay in touch with them all the way through. I understand Mr. Courtney's concern. He was looking out for, I think, the citizens in a sense of saying, had you reviewed other hospital systems besides Spectrum in this process? And we feel like that we did. And also our physicians and our patients have an affinity, because Spectrum's one of the top 10 health systems in the United States, but they're located only 45 miles straight down 131 on the north end of Grand Rapids. So there's a natural, again, affinity to use Spectrum. And so for all those reasons, we've had a long, good relationship with them, and we just felt it was in the best interest of our medical staff and our patients and our community as a whole to do this integration agreement with Spectrum Health.
This is, I'm sure we all recognize, probably the most important decision that this board has made in some time, if not forever. And I think that that's why we have trustees that we trust. That's why we have a board that we trust. They've done a great job in research. This decision, too, I hope everyone understands, this decision is for this board to approve the hospital board in entering into a transaction with Spectrum. This board does not enter into the transaction. The hospital board does. Not. We're ready to vote. Marcy, please.
Eric O'Neill.
Yes.
Dick Wheeler.
Yes.
Ray Stanky.
Yes.
Jerry Williams.
Yes.
Kevin Courtney.
No.
Art Edelman.
Yes.